I first met him back in the days of mandatory phase training.
Really? Interesting.
And
Please continue.
together we went through the great 2027 synthetic crab meat famine.
Yes.
And I think that left a lasting impression on him, not to mention the weight he lost, which was pretty traumatic.
There was an outlaw scientist system. His name was M59. And despite all the best laid plans, they couldn't keep him alive. Sent the robots to track him down, and they chased him into the industrial section. But he set off a high-engine blast, and he left them behind.
M59 made his way back to the hideout to consort with his cohorts, a motley collection of discontented worker ants. Their sole purpose being to disrupt, disorganize, and ultimately to destroy the system.
But the system was on red alert, and all available manpower and cybernetic power were directed toward the capture and rehabilitation of M59.
And this is where our story begins.
Morning breaks at the factory. All the worker ants pour out of their colonies. But somewhere in the hills, away from the assembly lines, out of reach, out of sight, M59 waits for the night.
Later that day, the following meeting took place at the factory between Natma, Bato, Garcia, and the smartass.
Hey, Bato, what have you heard about tonight? Right. Natma told me distinctly to meet him on the edge of the Forbidden Zone. There'll be hundreds of us. He's gonna discuss our plans on the raid on Port Messiah. I knew it. That's what I heard, the Forbidden Zone. Why the Forbidden Zone? It's the most dangerous place. But it's yet the safest place we can possibly be. They'll never expect us there. Here comes Natma now. Okay, quit popping those peas. You're spitting all over my glasses. So tell us, Natma, what's the story on the Forbidden Zone tonight?
The Forbidden Zone is the only safe place for us to meet. You have to understand that. Watch it. Quiet, the guards.
Guards? Shh. Well, all right then, if you say so, I'm convinced.
Yeah, me too.
It's the only way it can be.
That's right, that's right.
Well, if you say so, I'm convinced.
Okay, he's convinced.
There'll be hundreds of us.
Well, if you say so, I'm convinced.
Oh, what is there, an echo in here? Christ, he's convinced. Let's go. We'll meet tonight.
Well,
And Natma, you sure you want Garcia?
underground. The further discontented worker ants marched on to the forbidden zone.
But little did they know that Sparrow, the system stoolie, had overheard the entire plan, had run and squealed. A trap had been set, and they were now rushing to their doom. The crazed mob pressed onward until...
You are now entering the forbidden zone. You will receive only one warning. Here they come. The fools. Look at them rush to their doom. Let them go untouched until they have crossed the point of no return. And then, at my command, unleash the dogs of doom. And remember, the Bashar wants the rebel leader Notma taken alive. Get ready. Unleash the dogs of doom!
The rebel mutants, having lost the element of surprise, were no match for the electronically trained dogs of doom and were devoured to the last man, woman, and child, with the exception of Natma, who was taken by transport to the Citadel of Persuasion. And so Natma was taken deep into the lower intestines of the bottom level of the subterranean dungeons of the Citadel of Persuasion, where he was lowered through a trapdoor in the basement down below the absolute bottom into the secret Persuasion sweatshop, where he was subjected to the most hideously creative and grotesque tortures ever conceived in the darkest depths of the innermost recesses of the imagination of any known man, woman, beast, or dimensional configuration, but still he would not squeal. And so he was thrown into the pit of the now 3 weeks without human flesh secret dogs of doom, where he was devoured beyond belief and his hideously disfigured carcass skeleton casually tossed over the wall as if it were no more than a cigarette butt into the poison river, where it finally washed up on shore several miles downstream after getting hung up on some industrial refuse, and was found by sheer luck by a group of mutant scouts, taken back for a proper burial and given this elegy and eulogy.
above the waves as Natma showed his face, to chide the wind and save this mutant race. Natma was gifted in that he had the sense to think, and not only to think, but to question. How many of us wish we could say, I'm Natma? For Natma was not just a mere mutant. He was a son of man.
Was made. Realizing that they were now hopelessly outnumbered and that their very existence would soon be threatened, M59 had to make a catastrophically cataclysmic decision. He would go alone, risking capture and death, to seek out and enlist the aid of the Catfish Men, a hideously mutated tribe of part fish, part man, and part laboratory experiment that went wrong and was supposed to be destroyed but was accidentally spilled into the Poison River, where it mutated, gaining gigantic proportion from feeding on the waste material pumped into the Poison River from the industrial citadel. With his back against the wall, knowing that without the aid of the Catfish Men, the mutant movement faced certain doom, M59 set out on the river, weaving his way through large chunks of industrial refuse, around swirling whirlpools that led down to God knows where, and over the bloated carcasses of some of his mutant friends that had died in the Battle of the Forbidden Zone, which caused him to shed a single tear. His desperate, nightmarish journey took him deep into the lower intestines of the wild country, past a point where even the dogs of doom turned back with a fearful whimper, until finally he began to sense the hideous stench that identified the region known as Abandon All Hope, ye who enter here. He knew he was there because he heard this voice.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
And here is the story of the Catfish Men.
We're lazy, we're ugly, we're the Catfish Men. We live on the river, we don't give a damn. We lay around the river and wait for the trash. When it comes down the river, we eat there fast. We're lazy, we're ugly, we're the Catfish Men. We live on the river, we don't give a damn. The women is ugly, but they get the job done. When the men's we just lay around and get so drunk.